Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome back to the QPR Career Mode Season number 2. Spoilers obviously inbound for anyone who hasn't caught up or seen Series number 1, so go and check that out if you're not caught up. But in Season number 2, we are starting off in the Premier League. Very happy indeed. You'll see here we are sitting there in the Prem. It's crazy to sort of really even consider that fact, but we are in fact a Premier League side now, which is awesome. It's great news. I can see just by looking through that Luton have gone down. I can see that Sheffield United have gone down, and let's see who else. So Burnley is still there. My brain at the moment is just not computing. It might take me a second. You know what? Let me have a look. Bournemouth were the other team that have gone down. So Bournemouth, Luton, and Sheffield United were the 3 teams that went down. And obviously we went up through the playoffs, and I'm fairly sure it was Leicester and it was Burnley who went up. Sorry, not Burnley. Oh my God, boys, my brain today, I'm telling you, probably shouldn't be jumping into bloody career mode, should I? Leicester and Leeds, Tom, Leicester and Leeds. So those are the other 2 teams that went up with us. And obviously this is currently the squad that we have going into this season. Now, I am aware as anyone else, that this is not a Premier League ready side right now. And you know, I'm not oblivious to that. I know that there is lots of work to do here. We've got lots of players that probably do need to be moved on. The likes of Begovic probably needs to now go. Someone like Coley maybe needs to go out on loan. I think I'm going to loan out Bellingham and probably Walters, get both of those out there, getting some experience, getting some progress. Holmes, depending on who we can or can't bring in, the plan will be either keep him here as a bit of a rotation centre-back or loan him out again, get some game time. But this today is mainly going to be a sort of addressing the squad, working out where the improvements are, looking at potential players to bring in and listing up players to sell. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the squad hub and we'll work out who we're going to sell. And then we have got £41 million to play with. Now, I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say this outwardly right now, because I like to keep things with levels of realism. I'm not just going to go and spend £41 million. We're going to spend some this window. We're going to spend hopefully what is enough and signings that are reasonable or sensible, or signings that could potentially keep us up in the Prem, because that is the target this season. This season is all about survival. Our team on paper is got to be probably the weakest in the league. I'd be very surprised if it isn't. And we've got to work out where those strengths and weaknesses are and where to wisely spend this money. But also we do need to sell. So you guys have suggested some people. I'm going to go and scout some of them. I'm going to go through and look who I'm going to transfer list and stuff, sort out contracts, and I'll be right back. Just very quickly, was going through some of the initial contracts, people who are on a year or less. You can see a lot of the players I'm not choosing to re-sign, but I will tell you right now, both Kenneth Powell and Richards, I messed up with their wage amounts, so they're not very happy. But I do plan on re-signing both of them to contracts. But Colback, Begovic, as we know, Fox, Gubbins and Cook, all on 1 year, and all players I plan on letting go. So actually, let's go through all of this stuff now. Begovic is joining Al-Shabaab at the end of the window, so he is on his way out. Murphy Mahoney, I am actually going to loan list for another... Actually, I think I'm going to loan list Walsh, go and get Walsh some game time, and Mahoney can sort of be our third choice keeper sort of kicking about. We definitely need another backup keeper, because Labrovic at the moment is going to be our starting keeper, and I want to know your guys' thoughts as well. I think based on last season's sort of latter stages of the season, I really have to say, I think Labrovic should be kept here. I think Labrovic should be staying as our number one, because he was so impressive. He really did impress me. He did such a good job at the end of the season, and I think he's earned that number one shirt. And I'm going to sort out kit numbers as well. I'm going to go through all of those very shortly and sort those out. So yeah, Labrovic, I think for now is going to stay and remain as our number one, just so everyone is aware. I think Larketch, I think I'm going to loan list. I don't really see him getting too much game time. Obviously, Espanyol have signed Cook, so he is on his way out. Fox, I think, has already left as well. Yeah, Valadoid, so he's on his way out. Clark Salter is staying. Jimmy Dunn is staying. Gubbins, I'm going to transfer list. I don't really see much use for him down the line for us. I think I've decided I'm going to loan list out Holmes, let him go out, get some game time, get some progress, and then come back and we bring in another centre-back option. Cabral, one of our youngsters, on his way out. Ozzy Kakai is staying. You guys may or may not know, I absolutely love Ozzy. Such a sound guy. Met him in real life and he's nothing but sound. I've got so much love for the man. So I've got no intention of letting him go anywhere. Drew, I'm going to loan list. Walters, we are also going to loan list. Colback is transfer listed and hopefully will be leaving soon. Dazelle, I think I'm going to kind of keep in that rotation spot on the bench, and we'll probably look to bring in another holding midfielder. Dixon Bonner, we are going to loan list. Aroha, I'm going to keep him going out on loan. Peda, also going out on loan. Said, also going out on loan. Chaplin will be staying. Chair staying. Richards, I am also going to loan list. Actually, you know what? I don't think I will loan list Richards. I think Richards will be here as like a sporadic player, as sort of, you know, a little bit of depth for like cup games and stuff. But Bellingham, I'm going to loan list. Let him go out and get some considerable game time, come back and be absolutely ready to smash it. Ali is also going to go out on loan. Paul Smith, I love Paul Smith. He's so impactful for us off the bench. And I think for now, we're going to keep hold of him. I don't think there's a reason to get rid of him just yet. Dexter Park also going to go out on loan. Cargbo, I'm going to transfer list Cargbo because he hasn't really shown much in the way of progress. Can play striker and centre back. You love to see it. Coley also going to go out on loan, and Randall also going out on loan. You can see the sheer amount of players that we are either offloading or loan listing means that we need to bring in numbers, which is why I've got to make that £41 million stretch. I can't just go and throw 20 million at a player because we need to build up the numbers in this squad. Armstrong is a player that I'm really trying to think about the plan here, because if a good offer comes in for Linden, I think we might take it. I think Chaplin and Armstrong worked really, really well up front. But it is a big risk because, you know, having, whether it's a 69 rated, 72 rated or 73 rated players as your striker, it is a risk because that is quite low rated for the Prem. You know, it is going to be potentially that it proves to be problematic down the line. So we are going to have to work out what that plan will be. And I'll get there. I will get there eventually, slowly but surely. I can just see here, by the way, that Bellingham's training thing has been completed. So I'm going to have him convert there. And I kind of want to run him as, I kind of want like a box to box. So I'm just going to keep him unbalanced, I think, for now. Although I kind of want to improve that defensive work rate, maybe just a little bit. I'm not too sure. I'll put him on ball winning, gets his defending up a touch. It's only going to take 9 weeks. Hopefully he's out on loan by that point anyway, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, we'll crack on. I'm going to have a look at the players you guys have suggested, get them scouted, and also show you a couple of players that I'm considering too. Okay, just to show you guys the players that some of you guys in the comments had suggested. Daryl DK, one of the first options here from West Brom. Looking at the general price of the release clause, I don't think he's going to be much of a rating to sort of contend with what we already got, but I'll happily scout him. On the flip side of things, Ivan Jamie is how I'm going to say that, probably butchered that. £23 million release clause means he's probably going to be worth a bit too much for what we're looking for, but again, I'll happily scout these guys and see what they come back with. Munetsi, CDM from France, or playing in the French league from Zimbabwe, I should say. I'll give him a scout. I imagine, I think his rating, if memory serves correct, is like mid-60s, so like 67, 66 sort of thing. Sorry, 76, not 60s, mid-70s, 76, 77. So I'm expecting him to maybe be worth, you know, like 5-6 million, depending on any other options. Could be a good shout for us. Obviously, great versatility in the middle of the park there, as you can see. Reece Oxford, obviously, absolutely fine with that kind of signing. I don't know how much he'll be. He's only got 12 months in his contract, so it could kind of be that actually he's a little bit cheaper than expected. Same as Ryan Yates, two players that I'll, again, happily look to bring through. And I was suggested, I think the suggestion was for a Rob Edwards. I couldn't find a Rob Edwards, but the suggestion was from Gavin, legend, about a centre-back to come in to replace Cook. The only centre-back I could find when I put in Edwards was Ronnie Edwards. So I'm slightly assuming you meant Ronnie. And if so, I'm giving him a scout too. There were a couple of suggestions, one like McTominay. I just don't think that's going to be A, realistic, or B, I don't think we can really justifiably spend the money on McTominay, sadly. But what I'm going to do is have a little look through the free agent pool, because if you know QPR, especially over the last couple of years, we love a good free agent. So I'm going to have a little gander, see if I see anyone, and I'll add them to the list too. Otherwise, I'll just kind of start working through and see if there's any players that I can also think of. Okay, I have scouted a bunch of players with a real mix as well. I've gone through all the ages from 16 to 29 on the Transfer Hub that are down as free agents, and I have found a plethora of interesting choices here. So let's start off. We've got Nicolas Pepe up first. Could we maybe give him a return to the Premier League to show what he's about and see that he can maybe do it? I'm not too sure. He was one option. Will Hughes, who, by the way, pays between 24 and 48. He's just walking everywhere. But would be like a ball distributing sort of midfielder, kind of like the Dizelle last season. We have fielders that sort of out and out DM, and then Hughes could come in as that ball player. Victor Lindelof could answer the centre back issues that we've maybe got. Obviously, Prem experience, good player, not rapid, but neither was Cook, neither is Dunn. It's not the end of the world. Luka Jovic. Now, this one for me is very interesting. I think that would be a real interesting pickup to sort of bring in as an option in that role. Sort of, a good striker, 75 to 85 shooting. I imagine he's going to be around 82 rated. It just comes in as a big free agent, bang, striker. There he is. Bosh. Don't mess with that sort of vibe. Just something worth thinking about. Jakob Brun-Larsen, now a free agent as well. Again, a similar sort of idea. Obviously not going to be as high rated as Jovic, not quite the finisher that he is, but again, just another option up front. Someone that is not necessarily on the short side of things, but wouldn't quite be the physical presence that Dykes is, but maybe offers that a little bit. Then we've got Josh Da Silva, a bit of a throwback to last year's career mode. I'm happy to not do that for the same reason, the fact that we had him in last year's career mode, but just saw that he was a free agent, so I thought I'd have a little gander. I'm going to say it wrong. Is it Aaron? Sorry, Irish folk. I am terrible at pronouncing Irish names because they're not read how they look, and I'm really bad at remembering that. So I apologise. Cashin, pretty decent looking centre back. I imagine he's going to be around 73 rated, maybe 72. So kind of similar to what we've already got. But at 22 years of age, kind of maybe has an opportunity and a bit of a potential to go up in rating as well. So just thought maybe decent, had some good play styles too. Puzankov, another goalkeeper that I'm going to struggle to say the name of, but again, just as an option for some rotation, I'm kind of predicting he's going to be, maybe early 70s, late 60s sort of vibe, just as an idea, just a maybe. Then I saw this Leroy. I'm not going to be signing Leroy because he's 83 rated, and I feel like it's a little bit too cheaty to just go ahead and sign him when he's clearly 83 rated and clearly better than the sort of quality of 19-year-old player that we would be signing, if you get me. Then we've got Chow Cruz, who, again, how he's not at least 83 blows my mind. This lad looks incredible. So again, I probably won't sign him because I imagine he's going to be pretty decent rated. But I thought I'd scout him and sort of just show you guys because I think it's kind of fun. And then we've got Demiano Ferrari, sure, as a centre-back option as well. Bit of rotation, can also play on that right-hand side. Just saw him and I thought he looked half decent. Matthew Franklin, young English striker, who, again, I'm sort of imagining in those sort of mid to high 60s. We've got Alex Arnaud, probably said that wrong. Again, half decent looking striker. Victor Gomez looks like it could be a good option there at left back. Could be somebody that we maybe consider picking up to strengthen the defence. And then the guys that you guys mentioned. So just going to let all these scout reports come in for all the players that we're now looking at. I've still got all of the players as well from last season that we were considering. There's a few players here that actually do catch my eye a little bit. Chris Richards could be a decent option. If the pull for Lindelof doesn't necessarily go through, or that doesn't look like it's going to be quite the right deal. Ahamada is still somebody I'm looking at as well, potentially as a DM, but I would need to train him as a DM because he's only got 63 defending, so it's going to kind of be a Joby Bellingham kind of dealio, and maybe not the most ideal person to go for. The Stamenic option, I think, is still viable, still pretty good. 6'2", big boy in the middle of the park. Not a huge upgrade on Dizelle rating-wise, but I think he is a bit more of an out-and-out DM than someone like a Dizelle is. We've also got Clarkson, great option. It's just the physicality that lets him down a little bit, which is kind of making me think like maybe not. Kelleher is still there as an option as well, by the way, as a goalkeeper. If we sign Kelleher, I think it would be that he comes in as the number one over Labrovic. So that's why I'm not sure on that one. I want to know your guys' decision and your guys' thought on that, because I'm not going to sign a goalkeeper today. I kind of want your guys' thoughts on the Labrovic scenario. Nwabodo, probably butchered that, was suggested him a couple of episodes ago, had him scouted for a little while. I think he's only got a year in his contract, and I think he could be somebody that comes in and just, again, he's like a proper DM, does the job, has got high attack and work rate, so which is a bit of a shame. So we're just going to wait for some things to come in. We're still looking at a lot of players. There's still a lot of people on our radar, along with Tim Iragbunam, by the way. Now we're talking. What a player. But yeah, I'm just going to keep scouting. I'm going to wait till all of this stuff comes in before I even consider buying anyone anyway. But just thought I'd keep you in the loop. Today is going to be a very bitty episode, isn't it? Worth us actually looking at our objectives as well. No continental, because we're not in the continental competitions just as of yet. But I've got to sign at least 3 players who are 20 years or younger with greater potential than the average overall rating of the players currently in the same position. And again, we're probably, hopefully going to be doing that. Some of the free agents might not necessarily be doing that, but we are going to be getting some youth players hopefully coming through the ranks. And within 2 seasons, signed 2 youth players to the senior team, played them 10 times, either as a sub or starting 11. Again, that should be pretty doable. We're going to go into the youth system next after this. 5 league wins. That's all they're setting us as an expectation, is win 5 games in the Prem. Fair enough. Make 10 million and £200,000 profit from youth players within 3 seasons. Again, I'd like to think we can achieve that because we're going to be really working on our youth system. Avoid relegation. I think that's fair. Round of 16 in the FA Cup, maybe not quite as fair. And mid-table within 2 seasons. Again, I think that's a good aim. You know, if you can survive that first season and then just look to push up a little bit in the second, I think that's a good target. So yeah, I think the objectives are nothing too crazy. I don't disagree with the objectives. I think there's some good ones in there. Got to have a little gander here at some of these players. I'm going to promote Noah Welsh, and I'm going to get him loaned straight out. I think that is a really good shout. I think I'll do the same with Spencer. Actually, you know what? Anyone who is 17, we're going to promote and we're going to get you loaned out. I think that is probably the smartest way to do that. We've got a couple of players still sort of chilling here that are maybes down the line, but I think our best way forward from here in regards to like actually really being able to... I need to go to the... I'm completely messing this up, the way. I need to try and get a lot of these guys out on loan, get some game time, and then bring them back when they're sort of ready. When they're ready to sort of play some competitive football. But it's going to be a bit of a future problem for me. Having a little look at our youth staff here, I think Olev Sarr is going to be our main man to throw out there, although I have just found Ibrahim Peters, and I am going to spend £3 million on a 5/5 scout, and he is going to go to England. That is the play, boys. We're just going to send him to England for 9 months. Any players that you can find, mate, because honestly, I don't mind. I think just bringing some good young talent into the squad, some good homegrown talent is the way forward. So yeah, I'm just going to start progressing. I think that makes the most sense because then I can get all of the stuff back from the players we're scouting, potentially some players on their way out. We'll work it from there, boys. I also had a bunch of emails there that I didn't even think, and I just sort of blindly said, yep, that's fine. Begovic, Fox and Cook all gone now, so they have all departed the club, and we're getting a lot of offers in for some players here as well. Had a loan offer for Dixon Bonner, which I said no to. I wanted a loan rather than a loan to buy, sort of just like I've done there with Drew. An offer for Jimmy Dunn here. It's going to be a no from me. I'd like to keep hold of Jimmy Dunn if possible. And Gubbins, I'll take that. I'm fine with that. Honestly, just getting the players off the wages and stuff, absolutely fine. Offering for Colback, only £250,000, but honestly, again, like I was saying, just getting some of these guys off the wage books and just getting some extra little bit of cash into the club, just because that means that we can then go and like sort of put some of that towards the new contracts we're going to have to give some players that are currently in the club, because obviously a lot of them are going to want more wages because they're now Premier League players. That kind of just is how it works. So I think that's going to have to be something that we do quite a bit. Portsmouth coming in as well, 260,000 there. But you can see the amount of loan offers and stuff that are coming in. It is just going to be a matter of very soon. These kind of cutscenes are going to happen all the time. Dixon Bonner out on loan. He has gone to Casa Pia AC for 12 months, so that's a nice season-long loan for him. Absolutely fine with me. Aaron Drew going off to Feral Pisalo. Probably butchered that. Again, another season-long loan. Absolutely fine. And about 30,000 other players also doing the same thing very soon. Another loan going through. I think this one is Joe Gubbins. That's not a loan, sorry. That is a sale to Corona Kielce. Probably butchered. I'm butchering all these names. I don't need to tell you every time I'm butchering them. But he's on his way out. We got an A for that one. I just accepted what they offered us. But yeah, just wasn't going to get minutes for us. Couple of reports are back now. Will Hughes is a 74 rated midfielder with 47 pace. It said between 24 and 28. Sure. But here we are, 47. So he's, not a bad little card. I wouldn't be upset with bringing him in. I just don't know if he's the right choice because we'd have quite a slow midfield with if it was Hughes and Field. So that is my bad. The Silver 75 rated. Again, I'm edging on the side of not getting to silver just because I did it last year and I don't want to bore you guys doing the same things. It's worth also noting Yates actually sold to Las Palmas. He went for £10.5 million. So he is no longer going to be available for us as he has already moved. And Matthew Franklin, the report for one of the young strikers we were looking at, has come back 68 rated. Not too bad at all. I wouldn't be upset with picking him up in all honesty for rotation, but we have got so much not even rotation, just like squad players, club players, that I don't think I can justify picking up like another 60 rated player at the moment. Colback on his way out. I don't know which of the two clubs he went to. He went to Portsmouth in the end, staying in England. So £260,000 for us there. Again, just wasn't going to be getting minutes. It just is as simple as that. And again, another ace. So I'll absolutely take that. More players going out on loan. Samar Ali on his way to Pendikspor. Probably, I'm butchering it. I don't need to tell you every time. Aroha also on his way out to Sepsi OSK. Another year-long loan. Again, this is just great sort of game time for a lot of these players. Hamzat Kagbo being sold to Al Okdud, £440,000. Again, that was sort of his just general rating. Apparently, I could have got more, but I didn't really try. Noah Welsh, after just getting called up to the main team, immediately out loaned, but to Beşiktaş. I'm going to stop trying to... I don't know why I'm saying the names where they're going to, because I can't bloody say any of them. A couple more players potentially going by the way. Walsh with a loan potentially, but it's a loan to buy, so let's try a loan. Ilyas Chair, £10 million from Crystal Palace. I am going to say no to that because at the moment, Chair actually is our captain and I've got no intention of letting him go anywhere as things stand. We are plenty of the way through this, by the way, and I still haven't been told about a lot of these other players that I am scouting. I'm just going to very quickly just check that it's still... People are still going through. Yeah, okay, so there's still stuff being done, still players potentially on their way. But Lindelof's gone to Liverpool. That's a real shame. Jovic has also gone to Galatasaray. So we've maybe missed out on those two there. I think I'm really going to regret the Jovic one. That one is, I think, going to be a bit of a stinker. I've also just realised Pepe's also gone. I'm missing out on all the big guns. That Leroy did go, by the way. Cruz, by the way, off to Libertad. Bit of an interesting one. But... yeah, I've missed out on all it, boys. I've absolutely botched this, haven't I? Absolutely botched it. What a fool. So I think for the sake of not messing up and missing more, I think we're going to have to start maybe plunging in a little bit and getting a couple of players through the door now. I'm going to, again, hold off on the Kelleher one. I would like to know your guys' opinions in the comments. Let me know down below. Do we potentially sign Kelleher? And if we do, he is going to replace Labrovic. He'll come in as our number one. Labrovic will become the number two. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that one. In regards to centre-backs, I can see that cash in here is 2.6 million, so he's not going to be crazy high rated or anything. I think Richards is a really, really good shout here. Comes in as a 75 rated. I don't think it's crazy unrealistic. I think he's a bit of a rotation player in the Palace first team. So it's not like we're going and just stealing one of their starting centre-backs. I've had a look at their other options. They have got 3 other centre-backs that would be higher rated than Richards. So he is probably like a bench rotation sort of player. So I think there's levels of realism to this. So I'm going to go in for Richards here, unless there's anyone else that I think otherwise. Although, actually, you know what? I'm going to wait for the Oxford one because I do quite like the shout of Oxford. I think Oxford's a really, really good one. Along with Edwards, actually. I think both are pretty good suggestions. I think Edwards, sadly, is going to be a little bit too low rated. So we'll hold fire, actually, on the centre-back potential signing of Richards. There was going to be some potential CDMs that I was going to look at. I like the shout of Mbwodo. I also like the shout of Esugo, probably butchering that. But I think Esugo could be a really, really good shout. He's quite a youthful lad, 71 rated, could fly up. Haven't heard anything about Munetsi yet. Yates obviously has gone. I'm just going to clear Yates because obviously we definitely won't be signing him. Eric Bunham would be great, but there's just no need for somebody sort of lower rated, if you get me. It kind of wouldn't necessarily make sense. He'd be higher rated within a season, I'm sure, but I'm still a little bit torn in it. So you know what? Okay, I've just said I'm going to sign someone. I've immediately lied to you. We're going to wait till we hear back from Munetsi, till we hear back from Edwards and Oxford, and then I think we're going to start digging into our pockets a little bit, boys. Okay, Rayan Kohli, you can see here, going out on loan. CD Eldense, 12 months for him. Another good, hopefully, season of getting some game time under his belt. And you can see, here we go, all of these ratings now flying through. I'm going to have to delete every single one of them. Oh, and we still got other stuff to do. An offer in as well for Sinclair Armstrong from Benfica. It's going to be a no from me because realistically, I kind of want to keep Armstrong here till the end of the entire series. He's also, if you notice there, 70 rated. He's actually gone up now. He's in the 70s. Okay, you can see all of the players now fully scouted. 81 rated Lindelof would have been fantastic. 78 rated Jovic would have been equally nice. But Larson here, 74 rated, 25 years of age. I am considering it. I think genuinely, I am considering the possibility of Jakob Brun Larsen. I think it would be an interesting player to pick up. And it would kind of be at the detriment of Lyndon Dykes. I think it would be that Dykes would be heading the other way, or, well, he wouldn't be heading to a free agent, but I think we would potentially let Lyndon go. I think Larsen's got a bit more potential ahead of him, and I just think it's a good signing, boys. I just think it's a good signing. Again, I'm going to hold fire for now, but let me know in the comments. Larsen, yay or nay? Kelleher, yay or nay? Let's have a little look at these other options here. Oxford. Oh, Oxford still hasn't got back to me. 7.5 mil. And what is the general value of Richards? 6 million. You know what? Because I like going in for the players that you guys suggest to me. I do like you guys having a bit of a say too. We're going to go in for Reece Oxford, boys. I can't see his wages, but we're going to go in for him. We're going to see if we can wheel and or deal here. £6 million is going to be my initial flat offer, just to sort of test the waters a little bit. And if they get miffed at me and walk out. Or they could just say yes to £1.5 million under market value. If he is 74 rated or above, this is an absolute steal. There is no two ways about this. If he is 74 rated, but he wants crucial, so he's guaranteed to be at least 73 rated. I think this right here is daylight robbery. I think we have gone to Germany and absolutely picked their pockets right now. I'm going to offer him £30,000 a week. I think that's a fair offer. I'll offer him £200,000 signing on bonus. I think this is going to be... Okay, so 30.5, 5 clean sheets. I'm going to get rid of the clean sheet bonus and just offer the exact same everything else, which he accepts. Absolutely fantastic. Our first Premier League signing is through the door, and it is Reece Oxford, and we don't even know the lad's rating yet. I haven't got a single bit of information. Sam Field there, ready to welcome him in. And you know what? I think I'm going to make Field the captain for the season. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I think Field should potentially be our captain for the season. I just think it makes sense. I know he's quite a quiet leader. He said this himself in a couple of interviews, one he did with Jimmy Dunn, which was a great interview, by the way, to both of them. But I think Field, for me, just makes sense as our captain here. But Oxford comes in. It shows number 4. He might end up being our number 4. I haven't actually done the shirt numbers yet, so I'm going to do that by the end of pre-season. But Reece Oxford makes his way into the club, and I am a very happy chap with that one. It's a really good signing for me there. £6 million. If it's anything less than an A, I'll be very, very surprised because his market value was 7.5. It's a C. What could I have potentially got him for? He's 76 rated. I couldn't care less. But apparently I could have gone 4.5. I call absolute nonsense on that one. But we will happily bring Reece Oxford into this squad. Welcome in, Reece, mate. I'm very, very happy with that. £30,000 a week. Lovely bloomin' jubbly. Just while I'm here, I might as well have a little gander at the CDM. Oh, he's still not got a thingy. 11.5 million. Wow, he could be quite expensive. I think that's going to be a little bit rich for our blood right now. Still considering Mwobo, though. I might not be able to sign him because I can't say his bloody name, boys. But let me know if there's anyone else you guys think we could go in for that CDM role, boys, because that could be a huge, huge player that we pick up this season. Still looking at Danny Loader, by the way. I think Loader could be an interesting shout too. So let me know, what striker should we go in for? Do we pick up Kelleher? And who do we look at for CDM, boys? Those are the 3 questions I kind of have for you guys right now. Who is the right choice? We've still got Larson as an option. We could go in for somebody like a Delap. It's a bit of a risk. We could go in for Cannon. Cannon's not a bad little player. Mara, pick him up from the Championship. We could go for Loader, pick him up from Porto. Lots of options, boys. We have got DK, 74 rated. He's slightly higher rated than I thought was going to be, judged by his sort of market value. I thought he was going to be 72, 73. But let me know, boys. Let me know your thoughts. Couple more players going out on loan here. Jobe Bellingham off to Southampton for a season, hopefully, of game time. We just need the young lad to go up in rating. That is all I need to see. just all I need to see is them going up in ratings. Same with Walters here, going out on loan to Spain, going to Valladolid for a little bit. Just to get some game time again, just get some minutes under the belt. Pre-season competition, there's nothing that's going to give us too much money here, so I'm just going to take the one with the most money. But you can see with all the players we've loaned out, boys, our squad depth is slowly but surely thinning out here. The bench is getting a little bit sparse as well, but we are going to bring in Oxford for Jimmy Dunn here. I'm going to sort the squad numbers out afterwards. I'm not going to make that a problem for right this minute. In regards to midfield, boys, you can see the DM issue now. We haven't got a single DM that isn't on the pitch. So we realistically, we need at least one more defensive midfield option, minimum. It is going to be a real question of, you know, how we spread this money, because it's going to be tough to get, you know, half a sort of starting 11 and an entire bench nearly for next to no money. We've brought in one player, we've sold a couple, we've loaned out a few, we've loaned out a lot, but bit of a broken up episode, but I'm going to end this one here because I don't want to make too many signings and things before sort of touching base with you guys and getting your guys' thoughts too. I do want to make sure that when I bring these players in, they're players that sort of general consensus is good shout. I do like making a couple of my own choices in places, like when I picked up Labrovic and stuff, but I do want to touch base with you guys because I think it's important that you guys have a say too. So going to round this one off there. Sorry that it's a little bit stop-starty, a little bit broken up and stuff, but let me know if you enjoyed the video by leaving a like on it. It supports me, the video, the channel, and the series out a whole bunch. Hit the sub button if you're new and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. We also live stream over on Twitch. Link down below to that and all my other social medias. Go check them out. But that's it from me now. For guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves. And of course, wash your hands. Take care, guys. Have a good one.